Doric TV, we're up and running again. The last few Zoom interviews, we've had the hierarchy, the academia from Glasgow and Aberdeen universities, to present their views on the importance of spreading the enthusiasm of our Doric dialect and culture. Well, the day we're going to grassroots, the very heart and soul of it's about, and that's us. Right, we have Peter Chapman, Mark Findlater. Well, you kind of got any more grassroots than these two lads. And they're going to kick off to launch this wee thing by a few words for them. So over to Peter and Mark.
Well, Jill, thank you for that great introduction. The poem that I want to do, we're going to do it jointly. I'm going to do the first 4 verses and then Mark's going to finish it after the last 3. And the poem we're doing is a poem written by Flora Garry. Flora Garry, a great writer of Doric poetry, and probably her best kent poem is Benagok. And that's the one we're going to do. And Flora Garry was born in Judea in the year 1900 and lived to be 100 years old, so she died in 2000. And she kent the area very well, of course. Went to Judea Primary School and Peterhead Academy, and then she came out to be a teacher. And at one point she actually taught in Strichen, where I went to school. Although I never met her, of course. She was a wee bit older than me. But anyway, this is Benagok. And Benagok is a real place. The hill of Benagok is a bit of high ground that lies between Judea and Methlick. And this is a poem that Flora Garry wrote about that bit of hill, a bit of bleak countryside. It was just a skelp with a muckle forth, a skleiter a roch gran. Fin grandfather's father broke it in for the heather and the fun. Grandfather skleited barn and byre, brocht water to the close, but fail dikes ben the bare brae face, and a keert road till the moss. But our father sot out of the yard, and scape it among bees, and keep it fancy jukes and doos that warna muckelies. He bocht all wisn't horse and kye, and scrimp it muck and seed, saying, krachen we a krijgly host, he dwyned awa, indeed. Midders growing all and deen, dialed and small book at tea, but still, she's meester of her work. My work, it meesters me. Ach, I'm tired of pleitering out and in, among hens and swine and kye, kerning among brookie poets and yarning crews and fye. I look far over by Eithenside, the 5 lithe lech lands. De achterles and Benahee and the mist blue grampions. Seer to the hulle Benagok and scunner to the ferm. Can I bid dart? Can I bid dart? I'd flat to come in term.
Tell to thaw on the first spring day, when the black earth lies in clods, and the tuchets wallahin to the pleugh, and the snarbry rins in the roads. Oh, it's el to thaw in the still hairst gloam, when the lifts a blaze of fire, I stand and glower, the pale in my hand, and my road to the byre. But it's first of all about Whit Sunday, when the nights are quiet and clear, and the flouring currants by the yard, and the green corns in the breer. And the bird that gid this hollet's name, yon bird you never see, sits down in the wed by the waterside, and laughing at me. Flit, flit, you feel, says the unco bird. There's finer, couthier folk, and kinlier country hine awa for the hull o' Benagok. But my midder's growing all, and deen, and likes her ain fireside. Twould brak her heart to leave the hull. It's brak in mine to bide. There you go. I love that. I really do like that. It's a cracker.
That just sums it up. Me coming from farming background as you lads, that's it. You cannot leave it a hen. You cannot deal without it, can you? You cannot, and it's always there. No matter if you're not in it, you're still in it. If you get what I mean, right? Champions, yes, champions for the Doric dialect and Scots language. Now, if we were to have a competition to find a champion, right? Could you put in a few words why you think you should be nominated? Peter, you first. Come on, in a few words.
You've put me right in the spot there.
Oh,
Why
yes,
should I
come
be
on.
nominated? Well, because I'm a natural Doric speaker. I've been a natural Doric speaker all my days, and it comes very easily to me. And I'm very passionate about the language. I think it's such an important part of how we are in the Northeast, important part of our culture. The great poetry, a bit of what you just heard just now, it's written in the Doric. And the very fact that I delivered a speech in Parliament in Holyrood in the Doric. So there you are. That's my credentials for being a champion, Jill. I don't know if that's enough, but it's our best I can do.
So you're certainly in the running, Peter. You're certainly in the running. Mark, come on then. Come on,
Oh,
Mark.
well, but the thing is, a true champion of the Doric, you see, would be, well, I'm the, no, I think there's an awful lot better folk than me, like Peter, for example. He speaks much more than me. He does the mayor. Because a true Doric champion wouldn't be putting himself for it. They'd be hiding the hen and go, no, they putting themselves for it. But no, seriously, Peter's left, and I do like Doric, and I always mind when I'm awa, and when I start speaking, especially to Peter, I far right down through, and I love it. It's a living language. It changes all the time, and it's great to hear the bairns speaking it. So I'm all for promoting and the culture and the heritage as well. Thank you.
Ah, look at that. Well, you've two champions here today, folks. We'll try and fish some air out. That's what we're about here. Right, Peter, I know this is a bit off the cuff again. Can you give us a couple of verses of your favourite Doric song? Just off the cuff there, Peter.
Oh, well, here you go. There's lots of favourites, but this is a kind of upbeating, and it's got a book and Plumen. So we're in ferment country the day, Jill, so we keep that going. Come on, you jolly Plumen lads that work among the grun, and listen to my story if you want to hear some fun. I'm nae so young as I used to be, some say I've heen my fling, but I just feel like a 5-year-old when I begin to sing. I lilt a falooral, I do, tooralooral. I'll ca your horse, I'll sort your nout, I'll beg a rocker stray. I'm as happy as a lark, fae dawn until dark, singing a' the day. Oh, lilt a falooral, I do, toorally-oorally. How'd that do, Jill?
Exactly. I hope you're going to ask me to sing. When I sing in the kirk, Jill, Ken, it's called a joyful sound, but I don't know how many folk can think of it. So didn't be asking me to sing.
Mark, get your thinking cap on. Your turn and a wee minty. Right, Peter, just in brief, Peter, you're going to give us in brief about your farming days, your time with the MNFU, Scottish National Heritage. You just mentioned how you speak Doric in the Scottish Parliament, and then on to how you think that the importance of retaining our language and heritage. There we go. Peter, over to you.
Well, I mean, I've done various things throughout my career, but basically I'm a farmer at heart. I've been a farmer all my days. I went to Peterhead Academy, and then I went to Agricultural College. And after a couple of years working out and about, farm managers and stuff like that, I went back to the family business back at Strichen here, and was in partnership with my two brothers and my dad at that point. And we had a small farm. Dad, when I left college, we were only farming 85 acre. And we've managed to work hard and build it up over the years. And now my brother farms farmlay eggs, and I farm the Reed Bog and Black Slack and various places round about. So we're farming now 1,100 acres. And, it's been a long chav, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. And during that time, I got involved in various other things. I got involved in the NFU. When my dad died, I get to the NFU meetings, but when he died, they asked me to go along. He died when I was only 35. And I went along to the local branch, and it wasn't long before I was branch chairman, and then I was chairman of the area, and then I ended up as vice president for the whole of Scotland for 2 years, a while back, about 20 years ago. And that was a great experience. And then I was appointed onto the main board of Scottish Natural Heritage, which is the organisation that looks after the environment. for Scotland. And as a main board member, I thought it was very important. There was a lot of variable folk on there, don't get me wrong. There was lots of doctors and there was lots of letters after names. But I was the only in there that had a real experience of what farming was about. And everything that the SNH does has an impact on the land. And the land is managed by farmers and farm folk. So my input was very important at that time. And I did 6 years there. And then I did 5 years as a Aberdeenshire councillor. And then I was elected into the Scottish Parliament 5 years ago, and I'm standing down just in a week or so's time. I'm making to stand again, so that's my political career coming to a grinding halt. But I've enjoyed every minute of it. But really, if you ask me what I am, I'm a farmer here.
That'll do us, Peter. We can only thank you, and we would like to thank you for all that you've done in your entire life. Farming is important; it feeds the country. But the other things that you've done in your life, it's just been an added bonus to us all, Peter. So good luck with your onward journey, whatever you're going to do. We hope you're going to carry on in some manner and whatever with the Doric language and culture, and
well,
Doric TV.
I'm still up to date. I've done various concert reciting poetry and stuff, and I would still do that again. But of course, by COVID, we've been locked down for the last year, and there hasn't been an opportunity to do that. But it's a great how folk love the Doric poetry. You can get a big audience and do some Doric poems, and I just think it's great. And so do I. Anyway, that's enough for me.
Well, Peter, there are some people, that gets a stage in their life that they hang the cap up. But you can't ask Peter, I can't ever see you hanging your cap up. So keep doing what you do best. Right, we'll go on to Mark. Right, Mark, okay. Mark also comes from a farming background, an army career, went on to an army career, the 23rd Royal Signals, military intelligence, bomb disposal, heavyweight boxer, then the TAs, then becoming a toddy inspector. Well, Mark, there's a story and a half. Tell us about it.
Well, you might not believe it, but being a tatty inspector was the best job I ever did, I tell you. And you might laugh, but I got to see every single angle of Benachidi and that. And this Jessamine is my thumb up to that. Was my boss, and I tell you, I loved it. Up and doing drills at tatties and yapping to these fine folk from all over the country. So, and as much tatties as I could eat, it was just brilliant. But no, I wouldn't say I'm not a farmer, but I'm always a farmer's loon. And my dad and mum still farm at Brodie Sword, side Cornhill, and my great granddad started farming there in 18 Oatcake. But I tried my hardest, but I couldn't plough straight, as my dad said, and I had itchy feet. So he dropped me off at the Army Careers Office in Keith. And the Sergeant Major there at the time, he was awfully keen for me to be to join the Gordon Highlanders, because Piper Findlater, the VC, was my ancestors, and he was out at Forglin, and that's where the Findlaters first came up to Forglin. They've been about, and there's a lot of Findlaters with itchy feet. You can look at my family tree; they're all over the place, all over the world. You'll be glad to ken. But no, so I joined the Royal Signals. I was 23 years in the Royal Signals and lots of different regiments. I went all over the world, and I did military intelligence, which I cannot speak about at all, but I can speak a bit about the bomb disposal. I did enjoy that. I did a few years at that in a few different countries. And I've got more medals than Kenny Everett, if you'd a jingle about a bit for sure on a Remembrance Sunday. But my sports, I did water polo. I was quite good at water polo, would you believe? But I did the heavyweight boxing for sure. And that's probably if it's given my rugged looks. I used to have a button nose, but that's given my rugged looks. And they stop at my for boxing because of my eyesight. I think they were maybe feared of the referee getting a clout to me. So, but I did enjoy it. After I left army, actually, it was my cousin Neil Mackenzie. He was a world champion with the hammer. We doing the games, kind of Highland Games. So he took me on board that, and he's got a facility I set out at Little Black Hills outside New Baith. So I trained up at that, and I had got a real into it. So I did that for a few years, and I got a bit of money. Kind of, my best in was the weight, the height, the 56 punter, and that was thrown over your head. Oof, what a great thing, throwing that thing over your head, I tell you. But no, I've not been doing it this last while. I injured myself last couple of years. I'm getting all in grey, you can. So, but no, I left the army, and my first job was a tattoo inspector, as I've said. But then I started my business, a laptop shed, doing IT stuff. Again, from my previous career, I had the knowledge, poacher come gamekeeper, really, and went on to do that. And obviously, again, with your Doric TV and what you do, it's great. And I know that the technical side of things and how difficult it is to do all this. So I really appreciate what you do, especially through these times in the pandemic. We all need something like this to give us a laugh and a cheer up that we can go into. So it's great for your doing. It really is, Jill, and I do appreciate it. And then a day, I thought to myself, I could do a better job in the local councillor, so I put my name for it, and that was me, a councillor, back in 2012, and then I did mayor and knew him. I'm in a senior councillor in Aberdeenshire Council, and knew him standing at this election thing coming in May as well. So, but I'm sure there's one man that's could be hud me till it and making sure I'm recht, and that's man there, Peter. So. There you go. That's my story, unless you've got anything else.
Well, absolutely brilliant, lads. You know what? You know, you do have to prize out Doric folk, especially men folk, because they're nae very good at, blander and whistle kind of thing. And that's why I'm determined to keep on prodding people to bring them out, because you know what, we need to hear your stories, we need to hear your achievements, because that's what makes this area the great place that it is. And this is part of what Doric TV hopes to do. I know, coming from a background of very low self-esteem, it's very important that we do encourage each other with our stories and our achievements, and even think sometimes all had our head down. My late dad, would I had his head down? That was him. He would have his head down. He never took on board his own achievements. Anyway, thank you, lads, because it's been a privilege listening to your stories today. Getting a wee bit of that poetry in that song was just a delight to one's ear. Is there another one that you would like to finish up with on a YouTube? Please do take the stage.
Well, I mean,
leave it to Peter, because honestly, my singing voice is a lot worse than a Chukit's, I'll tell you that for sure. So I'll let Peter had gone with on.
Peter,
well,
Peter.
I'll tell you if it annoys me more than anything, Jill, is when you're in a crowd of folk and you ken that they're all born and bred and brought up in the northeast and they're not speaking Doric, and that really annoys me, because you can find they can speak the Doric, and they think that it's more, they look cleverer or more intelligent or better because they're speaking English or trying to speak English. But of course, the problem is that we fall down throat. And there's a poem that I like as well, is a poem that was written by Peter Buchan, who was a skipper of a fishing boat out of Peterhead. And he wrote a poem called Planloaf. And of course, if you ken yourself, Jill, if you're trying to speak posh, you're speaking Planloaf in the northeast. And his poem, if I can mind it, because I just talked about it this last wee while, but there are among us those who fain would treat with scorn and great disdain, and gain the slightest chance would hain the Doric phrase. To hear them speak, you'd think that they were born 500 miles away, instead of between Burnhaven Bay and Yugi's Braes. They think it impolite to say, fin freen meets freen, fit like it, eh? Oh no, that's not the proper way. It's how do you do? It phrases thick as ours they scoff. They toss their heads and speak Planloaf. They dinna host. Oh no, they cough. Their bleed is blue. But drop a hammer on their feet or stick a needle in their seat. You'll get the Doric pure and sweet, aye, rich and rare. If they were recht, they'd need nae shock to gar them speak like bucking folk. They wouldn't be the laughing stock that knew they are. Now, there you are. That just sums it up perfectly, in my opinion. Speak
just-
Doric if you're among your own folk every time.
Oh, definitely. It's just part of our culture. It's part of who we are. We're so proud of it. And then this last year has been a great journey for me because I've just got very back into the very heart of it and look what I brought to lads like yourself. So anyway, we will continue, and Doric TV will continue, and I'm going to get engaged with you two lads again. And just a bit of exciting news. We're just about to start a little project with two students from Robert Gordon's University. They're called Ellie and Ewan. And I'm going to take them on board with Doric TV because I want to spread it out a wee bit further than me and Gordon has been doing. We've been running a show ourselves, and I'm very technical. Gordon's a technical man. But I think we need to present the concept of Doric TV. It's not just my TV, it's everybody. It's for everybody out there who wants to be able to join in this and let it grow. So anyway, on board will be Ellie and Ewan, and this is a wee plug for them and to see what they can do. Okay. So lads, keep in touch.
Right.
And
Will do. Cheerio.
keep the Doric going. Okay.
Cheerio.